Hey everybody, Jenni and Kendra back today with Take Your Health Back Now. This is season 3, episode 5. So we're here today with Amy. She's a past patient, actually in the clinic, working with the doctor. But she's been on the program for about 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. It's about 6 months. Recently graduated, and we just wanted to interview her and find out, where she was when she came to us, what was going on, how it went going through the program, and then how she's feeling now. And so basically, we're just going to hear her story. Yes.
Very good. So I could start by saying, for me, in the last year, I was dealing with all kinds of just coordination issues. And it was coordination of really arms and legs.
Okay.
And it just felt almost like the signal, from the brain saying, oh, go run there, just was not syncing well for me. And so it was just obviously a very scary time.
Yeah.
And then I had things like dizziness, some brain fog, and it was just something that over the course of the past year was just, it kind of seemed to continue to progress.
Right.
And get worse.
Were you having weakness too?
I was having weakness. So even things like just handwriting for me were getting to be very difficult.
Okay.
And so what I did was I started to explore, through traditional medicine, things like, MRIs, thinking I probably had something like MS.
Right.
And so I had a couple of brain MRIs, even had one of my spine, and nothing really came forward as far as being definitive.
Right.
It was that.
Because that's what always happens with the tests. And people have no answers whatsoever, right.
And that's so much scarier. Like, I'm sure you're looking this stuff up and you're thinking, I probably have MS, and that's scary. And then you do these things and they're like, no, we're not sure what it is. And like, now it's unknown.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Which is the most scary.
Yes.
When it's unknown. But anyway.
And then you go through a period of thinking, is it just anxiety? I think that's something else I was offered is, maybe there's some anxiety type treatment that might help. And for me, the only anxiety I had was the feelings I was having and just worrying about, even with my husband and my kids, thinking about the future for them and just how much more difficult it might be for me if my health just continued to progress in that way.
And that's a really good point, because with any of these chronic conditions that people are experiencing, it's not just you, going through it. It affects everyone. It affects your family. It affects your friends. It affects your social life. It affects just every person in your life.
Yes.
So
absolutely. And so it was just those kinds of things, and even just almost like muscle jitters and things like that I just could not explain. And it was really affecting me in all aspects of life, like you said, family and even work too. And so going through those tests and not really being able to come up with anything, I decided to explore functional medicine, and that's where I came to you all to try to get another opinion.
Had you worked with a functional medicine practitioner before?
I had not. The one thing that triggered me to think about it was in one of my appointments with my neurologist, my B vitamin level showed up to be quite low. Oh. And it just triggered me to think, I just can't understand why that would be. And so with the way I thought I was eating, and it made me think, I just wish I knew more about just my body chemistry more comprehensively. Right. So I started doing research, and you all popped up as a group that does a phenomenal job of extensive blood, stool, and urine testing, as well as even some of the brain training testing too, which I was very intrigued about, given my particular dizziness and just even hard time focusing on things and so forth that I was having. And so that's kind of what led me to meet with you and do the initial evaluation. And I think from the very get-go, what I felt like was you just listened and you validated that I'm not the only one who's been in this kind of situation before, and that you could. I remember you both saying, we can help cure you. And that was just the first moment after several months of trying to explore how to treat this, that I felt extremely hopeful and encouraged, and ready to go forward to try to get at more of the root cause.
Yeah, I think that's a big part for people, is just being validated and someone has listened to them and believes them. Is my phone dying?
Your battery's low, but I think we'll be good.
Okay.
It was good enough when I started.
Yes, I did this too. We'll keep it short and sweet.
And now I forgot what I was going to say when I saw that. What was I going to say? I don't know. Keep going.
But a lot of people do say that they come to us or other functional or preventative practitioners, and just having that someone actually listen to what's going on and believe you, that you living in your body are actually able to experience what's going on, not just telling you, nope, sorry, you don't have that.
Right. Oh, that's what I was going to say, because you said we could cure you, but really it's about that the body has this amazing ability to heal itself if you just know what to take away. And that's what we're good at, taking away. And then you heal yourself. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yes, I think that's a great way to frame it and put it. And so that's really kind of what led me to that very day I met with you, just saying I wanted to get started.
Perfect.
And so,
So how was your experience going through the program?
I thought it was exceptional. Not only the testing was extremely easy. I think for the blood work, somebody came to the house and drew it, and then the other samples were easy to. I mean, all the instructions around that were extremely easy. The results came back fairly quickly, and then I loved right out the gate. There was the kind of the guidebook, I would call it, of all the things to try. Meaning, the things that right day one could be adjusted, and then the follow-on with after the testing, looking at supplementation, and then obviously being part of the community that continues to give suggestions on kind of like the whole life aspect of this, which I think has been phenomenal. So for me, I mean, I even could tell right away when I started some of the initial recommendations before my testing even came back, made a huge difference, and it kind of did solidify that there is this whole body burden piece of things that once you can start to really, and those decisions don't always come easy as to how to make the life changes, but once you make them, you just are so inspired by how you feel, you're just not even willing to consider not doing them, and then you start to find new pathways and things that you find, are every bit as good as where you were or the way you were living before. But you just have the world looks different to you because you feel so much better.
Right. And then you're making a big impact on your children's lives because you are changing those things at home. And right.
Absolutely.
And the reason you started feeling better before the testing came back was because since she's working in the clinic with the doctor, he does always do testing, but that program is based on years of clinical research, test results, all of that. So there are people that never get testing, and they feel, they see the same improvements.
Yes.
So you don't really need the testing. It's just that it is beneficial for you to have that information. Yeah. You don't have to have it.
Or if you're acute or have been doing the wrong thing for a really long time, sometimes that just shortens your journey, which can be important in certain situations.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely.
And I love the way you said that you had to make hard decisions, but once you started doing them, like a pathway kind of presented itself. Because I think a lot of people that's a block that they have where they don't decide to do this. They don't make the changes because they just think it's going to be too hard. Like, there's no way. I'm sick. I feel awful. I can't do things. I can't do this work. I can't make these changes. But while you're making them, you're feeling better. So you get that return.
Yes.
And it kind of just exponentially grows. And you really do build new lifestyle habits and things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could say that I've probably never felt as good as I feel now. I could even look back and say for many years I've probably had these weird happenings. And I always dismissed them as, it could be low blood sugar, it could be whatever. And I think it was this. Just so slowly starting to build for me. And so the amount of mental clarity I have, just the feeling of just greater attunement to my own body. And I'd even say a side benefit of all this is I've had asthma since I was, I think, diagnosed probably 7 or 8 years old. And I've been on a daily steroid for that ever since I can remember. And since I've been in the program and got going, I'm no longer taking any medicine, which is, for me, just even hard to even reconcile that I'm able to do that and be active and things like that. So there's just been so many benefits.
Right. And that's a good point, too, that so many people have been sick, not really sick, but experiencing chronic symptoms since childhood. Right. But because it's a part of your life and that's all you know, and you just think that's how you are. That's who you are. And you don't know any different. But I've been thinking a lot lately about how the healthier you get, it's really aging in reverse.
Yes.
So like you said, you've never felt better. I feel that way too. I've never felt better in my whole life. than I do right now. And so every year you start feeling better and better and better. So that's technically aging in reverse, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's, yeah, I do think, it's ironic you say that too, because I was just even referencing to my husband that I can recall for so long, I was looking into how do I reduce this crepey skin on my arms and legs? I just feel too young for this. And I'd look into all kinds of creams and things, and nothing ever did seemed to make any improvement. And as I went through this and changed my diet, that seemed to improve drastically too. Right. Which is very, very, something I would have never expected. Mm-hmm. But again, I think has to do with all of the just kind of inside.
Right. Because you're healing internally. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yay. Yeah. Good story. I cannot believe my battery's about to die. Sorry, guys. So where you are now, where do you expect to be?
So I would say, and this is part of the program is always so good about just the visioning aspect of this and just even the visual visioning. And so I would definitely say that that's been very helpful for me. And what I'd say is for me, I just want to continue to feel stronger. I think, there's an element like I've never felt this good. And so I think I just want to keep building on that. Mm-hmm. The other thing is I really want to keep getting into making lifestyle changes. So for instance, like in the community, you hear of all the things that you can do to look for ways to kind of pull out more things that might have toxic impacts. And that seems to be a growing list these days in the environment. And so I just want to stay committed to that, but take it to another level of, being able to incorporate those types of changes too.
Right. And we just redid the Body Burn Boot Camp, the foundational program, but revamped it, I guess. But we're also going to have a new, next level, which is we're calling it either quantum healing or frequency healing or something like that. But like you mentioned, you almost feel like you're clearer, like everything, even with, higher source or whatever. But we'll get into that. But we should have that out maybe the end of the month.
That would be incredible because that's exactly where I think that's what you start to feel drawn to keep exploring.
Right. So we will have more of that because that's a big piece of this. Because you can't feel that when you don't feel good. Right.
Correct.
I did want to also mention before the phone dies that part of why we asked Amy on, besides that we wanted her story and she's awesome, but she did have the shot and a booster before you came to us, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, we're just trying to get as many of these testimonials out there to let you know that if you did make that decision, you didn't know beforehand, people are still healing at the same rate. We're hearing a lot that you can't, but you can. And every single person that has gone through the program that had it, that did the program, is healing at the same rate as anybody else.
Yes.
So I want to get that out there as much as we can, because it's just that research just isn't out there right now at all.
Yes.
But it is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, very well said.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
All I could say is I would just say this has been life-changing for me. And so I think, if you are in a situation where you are feeling like you just can't get at the root cause, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to do this. And there's no one that I've come across with greater experience and just empathy to help you lead through this and to come out better than ever.
Thank you. Also, if you want to go through the Preventive Health Practitioner Certification Program, you can help people, just like Amy. Yeah. First of all, you help yourself. We always say we start out with health, get to the point where you are now, and then do this as a business and help other people. Yeah. And there's really no better feeling than helping somebody.
This is the best part of what
it is.
Seeing people
completely regain their life. Yeah. So, yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So, and the phone didn't die.
All right.
Bye. I can't believe that. I've been plugged